Today we're going to be reviewing the Google Nexus 10. Now this is a slightly older high definition tablet. However, the Google Nexus 10 by no means should be considered obsolete or a boat anchor or even not a valid choice for someone looking for an entry-level high definition tablet. As a matter of fact, for many reasons, one might want to consider the Google Nexus 10. At $399 for a 16 gigabyte unit or $499 for a 32, that's pretty reasonable. That's right in the price range one would expect to pay for a tablet with the graphics that this particular tablet has, as well as being upgradable to Android operating system 4.3. I'm a big fan of this tablet. Now, there are some aspects of the tablet that I do not appreciate. One is the fact that often the upgrade from a 4.2 Android to a 4.3 will brick your tablet. Now I have another Google Nexus 10 that is bricked. I've rooted it twice and tried to update twice and get a little bit of use out of it before it bricks. Now bricking is simply just that the tablet fails to start, it becomes a boat anchor, a brick. Now having said that, not all Google Nexus 10 do that. This one has not. It's a very reliable tablet. I find that it's got its place. Now again, we got a 16 and a 32 gigabyte unit. There is no expansion slot. So when you do decide to choose a Google Nexus 10, choose it in 16 or 32 based on your usage, what you plan on throwing on here. If you're like me, 16 just doesn't do it. There's just no way it can do it. Now, having said that, let's look at this, the specifics. It runs on a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core processor. That's an A15 dual-core processor. It is a smoking hot dual-core. This does handle most, if not all, games very, very efficiently. I have run some of the most challenging and visually taxing games on my Google Nexus 10, and it holds up. It doesn't bog down, and it's very reliable. Installed, you have 2 gigabytes of memory. Again, out of the box, you're going to have an Android 4.2, and that is upgradable to the 4.3 if you choose to do that. As far as the size of the tablet, this is a very nice 10.1 tablet. It weighs just at 1.33 pounds and at a third of a quarter inch in thickness. This is a very thin, low-profile tablet. On the bottom here you have your Pogo charging slot. If you choose to use a Pogo, it just magnetically connects right in there. Or you can use the USB that comes standard. You got your phone jacks on the side, and you have your micro HDMI right there. Again, no expansion slots. You have your volume and power. On the back, you have your camera and your flash. You also have this very nice rubberized surface. It is non-slip. It's a very good tablet for running around with. You can put it in your hands. You don't got to worry about this thing coming out of your hands. Now again, as I said, just a third of an inch thick and only 1.33 pounds. There is a uniqueness to this tablet. If you look at it, you can tell it's a little bit longer than most tablets. This is the Samsung Note 10.1. This is the 2014 version. I'm going to overlay that, and you're going to instantly see that the Google is taller and it is wider. Now, we're going to do the same with the iPad 4. And you'll notice the iPad 4 is taller and narrower. So the profile of the, sorry about that. The profile of the Nexus 10 is that it is narrow and long. So Keep that in mind. Also keep in mind the sound. It doesn't produce the absolute greatest sound, but it does produce good sound. One of the reasons that it produces decent sound are these speakers. If you look along in here, you'll see there's a very long speaker band on both sides. So no matter where you place your hands, volume can find its way out. I like that. I do. As far as the camera, you got a 1.9 forward-facing, front-facing camera, 1.9 megapixels. That's nothing to write home about. That's not the worst. That's not the best. It's decent. It'll do the job. On the back, you have a 5 megapixel. I find, in all seriousness, that when you compare the camera, oops, I'm sorry, I grabbed the wrong tablet. When you compare the camera built into the iPad 4 to the Google Nexus 10, the Google Nexus 10's camera does a better job. Their parameters are very similar. However, I just like the way the pictures come out better with the Google Nexus 10. Now, if you were to compare that to the Samsung or some Zeus tablets, I would say otherwise, but when you compare it to an iPad, I think that Google does a very good job. As far as the resolution, you get 2560 by 1600. That's the same as that you're going to get in the iPad, that you're going to get in the Amazon and Kindle HDX. It's the same as you get in the Samsung Note 10. So it doesn't, you can't take away from the Google. It was one of the first to throw out that high definition screen. It's a 10-inch screen, Gorilla Glass 2, very, very high quality glass. It comes with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, GPS. It does not have 3G or 4G, as some of the newer tablets do, especially your iPads. As far as slots, again, you get your micro HDMI, which is found on this side. You get your micro USB found on this. You get your Pogo charging adapter on the bottom. As far as sensors, it has a barometer, a compass. It has ambient light and GPS. It has an accelerometer. So it's got everything that you need. As far as apps, it comes, because it is a Google tablet, it comes with literally everything Google. If you go to the back, you'll just see they just don't short you on anything that's Google. However, you'll want to add some things to that, of course, some games and some productivity apps, etc. As far as battery life, on a heavy use day, I was averaging about 9 hours of really light use, but on a heavy day, I'd get 6.5, 7 hours. And the one thing that I didn't like about the charging environment with the Google Nexus 10 was how long it took to charge. As compared to many of the other tablets which charge very, very promptly, very quickly, without any delay, many of the new tablets will charge faster than you draw. So that is not the case with the Google Nexus 10. If you are a heavy user, that is, you play a lot of games, you do a lot of surfing, etc., you will not be terribly pleased with how quickly your tablet will replenish itself as far as charging. And I found that if I plug my tablet in and I leave it plugged in and I start using it, I don't notice too much battery charge being replenished into the tablet. So that's something to consider also. As far as pros, it is a very durable tablet. Being made by Samsung and Google running the show there, you're going to have an absolute fantastic quality tablet. It's fast, it's reasonably priced. You do get extremely good graphics. It does come with some slot options, which on the higher end tablets you often don't find. I wish it had some memory expansion with an SD slot. It does not. But the rubberized back, the thin, lightweight tablet, I like it. Could use a little better camera, but otherwise, decent, respectable tablet. Battery life is okay. On the right side of the tablet, you'll notice that right in this area here, after you've used the tablet for a little more than an hour, it gets warm. Now, it never gets warm to where you can't actually touch it, but it does get warm. So that's something to consider. The slow charging time, and finally the upgrade from 4.2 to 4.3 causing some bricking issues with some of these tablets. Now, it's my understanding that the new Googles that are being shipped out do not brick. However, that has been a problem with some older tablets, so if you do buy a reconditioned tablet or a used tablet, keep that in mind. The Google Nexus 10, it's $399 and $499 for the 16 and 32 gigabyte respectively. Decent tablet, has its place, high definition, good price placement, comes with all the Google extras, the Google everythings, decent tablet. The Google Nexus 10.